Mr. Chang, are you enjoying your visit to this country?
Oh, certainly. I enjoy it very much.
You know, it was 2 years ago, I think we were interviewing your son in this very spot when he was a student in the College of Architecture.
Yes.
You played a very important role in your own country in the development of its architecture. Tell us about some of the buildings with which you've been involved.
You see, I have been responsible for the design of the National Museum, which is located in Tiananmen Square, which I suppose is the largest square in the world. And I also designed the State Guest House in Peking, which had the honor of housing four presidents from the United States of America.
The first one was Richard Nixon.
Nixon, the first one is President Nixon, and the second one, President Ford, and the third one, President Carter, and the latest one, President Reagan.
Do you redesign the house for each presidential visit, or what do you do?
Yes, you see, I designed the house I think some 25 years ago. But now the house is renovated.
I see, it's renovated for each visit.
Not for each visit, but in recent years it was renovated.
Now, you're also involved in projects for your country outside of your country, in Europe and in this country, is that true?
No, only mostly in Peking, not abroad.
I see.
But I'm responsible for an exhibition which was held in 3 years ago in the Centre Pompidou in Paris. This exhibition deals with the living environment, the present-day living environment of the Chinese people.
I see. What do you think of the state of architecture in this country? You've had an opportunity to visit here, visit the Ball State College of Architecture. Let's talk about our programs first. What do you think of them? Your son attended here as a student.
I come here to, yes, one of my purpose to come here is to study the architecture of this country, which I think is very good, and especially I think it's very diversified. You have all sorts of architectures. And of course, my main purpose is to come to this college because I was invited by the Department of Architecture of this college to speak here. And I think the architecture school of this university is very outstanding.
That's nice of you to say. I understand you viewed some student exhibits the other day. I'd like your opinion of those.
Yes, I joined a group review of your students together with Professor Lu. I think their designs are both very original and full of imaginations.
Are students in your country allowed the same freedom of design?
Yes, but we have the same freedom. But I also say they have a solid, very good training in the basic. The basic courses of architecture. But somehow, due to one reason or another, they are less imaginative than the students here in the States.
Do you have more of a single standard of design in your country? You talked about the diversification of design in our country. Do you have more of a standard type of design in China?
You see, ever since liberation, the architects of China have been kept very busy, and we have done a lot of jobs I think we have made great contributions to in the rebuilding of China. But we have our own programs, and one of the programs is that our design, most of our buildings are more similar in appearance, and so lack the individual identity. So this naturally causes dissatisfaction among the people and also among the architects themselves, which include myself.
I see.
So I think now the most urgent job for the Chinese architects is to achieve diversities in their design. And besides, it's also our urgent job to create a new Chinese architecture style.
The government will permit this, do you think?
Oh yes, certainly. They encourage us to do so.
Good. Do you think the exchange programs are helpful? Our students going to your country, your students coming to our country?
Certainly, it will happen a lot. In fact, I think the Ball State University, especially the architecture department of Ball State University, had already played a very active part in promoting the cultural exchange between China and the United States in the field of architecture and architecture education. You see, first 5 years ago, a delegation of American architecture educators went to China, and Professor Sharpenfield of this university is a member of the delegation. And 1 year later, Professor Rosenman and Mrs. Rosenman visit China with a group of 19 students from the Department of Architecture of BSU. BSU. Is that true?
Yes, Ball State.
Ball State, yes. And I think this is the first American student group ever to visit China. And as a consequence of his visit, my son came here as an undergraduate in the Department of Architecture. I think he's the first Chinese student to be enrolled in the Department of Architecture in this university. And then came Professor Liu as the first Chinese professor to teach in the Department of Architecture in this school. And then came Professor Chang, who came here to work to an architect's office in Indianapolis, I suppose. But it's through the arrangement by the Professor Rosenman. So I think that's why I think the BSU has played a very active part in the exchanging of students and professors between China and the United States.
It's been very important and profitable for both countries.
Yes. I think this forms a very important part of the cultural exchange between China and the States. Yeah. And I'm sure the men's, especially the BSU, will become the center, or at least one of the centers of cultural exchange between China and the United States in the field of architecture and architecture education.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chang.
Thank you very much.